Welcome back. Let's take a look at how the markets have performed then this morning, particularly out in Asia. It seems to have been positive trade then, and this all stems from primarily those employment numbers out of the United States. While economists had expected unemployment in the United States to really skyrocket towards 20%, 19.8 was the actual suggestion on that front, it turned out to go down to 13.3%. Now, the previous month, April, saw unemployment in the U.S. sit at 14.7, which was the highest since World War II out in the United States. But that has fallen then to 13.3% then, which does mark a better picture then for that economy, and that means a quicker revival in that growth picture as well. So we then got word as well from Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying that the effects and the impact of the coronavirus may still remain, however, with the global economy for some time to come. Of course, nothing is over at this point in time. We haven't necessarily turned the corner unless you're in New Zealand alone, but New Zealand doesn't operate in a vacuum, of course. Taking a look at that Asian market picture, though, pretty flat out for the Hang Seng by close of trade this morning, but a general positivity as well, with the Nikkei in Japan enjoying much of the positive sentiment then as well today, 1.33% higher. The Dow Jones Industrial, the big gainer last week Friday, more than 3% gain there, while in Europe today, a mostly positive picture with only the CAC 40 of France going down just over 1/3%. Getting over to your commodity picture very quickly as well then, a bit of a down day for Brent crude, although we did get OPEC and its allies then, the likes of Russia included, agreeing then that they would extend their production cuts for at least another month. That's until the end of July. So that did see the price initially go higher, but it's pretty flat and even down at present at $42.22 a barrel there. $8.35 for platinum, with gold at $1,694. It seems to continue to lose some sort of shine then, unfortunately, for the gold price, but it is 0.5% higher today. And your currencies, a bit of strength as well. 16.80 for the US dollars, where we sit in the local currency. 18.94 for a euro and 21.27 for a British pound. Quick look at the local market. It is unfortunately down. Seems to be headed towards that 55,000 point mark though, and currently sits at 54,612. 2.8% down for the banks, and seems to be leading the losses on that front there, while the biggest increase today has been among the resource counters, with gold being one of the biggest gainers today, 2.63% higher. Let's chat to Bright Kumalo then from Vestact, who joins us now to unpack the market picture a little bit more. Bright, it certainly seems to be a positive sentiment one would have hoped out of the US, with unemployment not necessarily going down, or rather going up, but now going down, which is positive. But that hasn't seemed to have filtered through into our local markets. What's happening there?
I wish I knew what was going on with our local markets, but we've had such a great 3 weeks in our local market, so we can't start complaining now on just one day's worth of rally not coming along. But as you say, we saw in the morning basically global markets were very strong. Also oil looking very good in that front. The last time I checked, it was $42.19 a barrel there. Strong as compared to where it's been. I mean, I think if you look at where it's been in the last couple of months, this rally, we haven't seen the oil price where it's at now since February. So it's doing exceptionally well there, and obviously the rand reacted quite nicely to the overall good news. It was now, as we said, we're 16 rands 82 cents to the US dollar, and about 21 rands 27 cents to the British pound. We're looking very strong there, especially on the dollar front, which is I guess still the US dollar weakening there. That's what's going on there. But overall, we're liking the good news. But the big issues with especially our local economy is aggregate demand and the fact that we are over indebted. That's still lingering in the background, because it means that consumers are not going to be spending anytime soon. And if they do make any form of income post-lockdown, it will be dedicated mostly to paying down debts. And as things look here locally in South Africa, we know that debt to income ratio is about 71%, meaning for every 1,000 rands basically that we make per month, about 710 rands goes to servicing debt. It's looking very ugly for us right now.
Yeah, certainly does hurt and impact things quite a bit then. Bright, we've also gotten the news then, unfortunately, of things like taxi fares set to go up then. A trip from Alexandra to Sandton from 11 Rand to 30 Rand. I mean, it certainly is ridiculous, one could tell you that much, but the element that we need to take care of despite that is going to be saving, right? And some of the best ways to save are maybe starting very small.
I mean, all best ways of, savings is all about, number one, spending less than you earn and obviously saving the difference. Once you get into the habit of, knowing that, okay, these are my monthly expenses without any frivolous things, and then this is what I'm supposed to be saving, then you save it, get into the habit of saving it and putting it away for a rainy day. I mean, there's many ways of doing that. I've shown in my Twitter account with the 1 Rand challenge that you can, save basically starting from 1 Rand at the beginning of the year, you'll end up with around 70,000 Rands. Obviously, you take the day of the year, like today is the day 160, and you multiply by 1 Rand, and obviously when you multiply those together, today you get an equivalent of around 160 bucks that you save for today. But obviously, if you accumulate all of those savings all the way through to December, if you make it, or you can quit whenever you can't make it anymore, but the habit will be there already. So that's what we're trying to do to encourage people to save. And we've seen for those who can work from home that this pandemic has actually been a boon for them, because it means they're no longer spending on things like petrol, lunch money, and all of the commute expenses that they used to incur when they had to commute from home, to work, and then back from work to home. So it's been very good for them, and they could use those additional savings into saving for an emergency fund that will help them, maybe when they, no longer have income to service things like their debt and their monthly expenses.
Yeah, look, it certainly is one thing that they can do at the very, very least to get involved and try to shore up some of their finances. It is certainly a good role on that front. Bright, thank you so much for that one. Let's get back to this market picture just very quickly, if you allow then as well. You noted the oil price going up to $42 a barrel. Has it turned the corner with OPEC saying, yeah, we'll extend the oil production cuts for another month? Does the oil price then spike up now towards $50 a barrel even?
Yeah, well, I don't quite know, where it'll go from here, but certainly it has been coming out strong in the past couple of weeks. But what's more important is that that oil price going up, it has brought up the companies that operate in that environment, the likes of MTN, for example, that have big operations in Nigeria, where the economy is basically oil-driven, right? So those kind of companies tend to benefit when that happens. And obviously Sasol being the novel example here, going from in March lows where the oil price was low, the market was low, from around 24 Rand to around 163 Rands today. But Sasol is a very unique company because it still has its debt woes, their troubles in the United States, as that factory hasn't produced a thing until today, and they've overspent on that project. So it's still yet to be seen where their fortunes will turn. But certainly a rights issue has been pushed back, in the interim for most shareholders. So some good news there for now. But again, it's still very binary on what will be the outcome of the share price in the longer term for Sasol.
Yeah, we'll see what happens to Sasol. It certainly has been a hot topic as the oil price continues to plunge for quite some time as well, and been good news as well for some investors who perhaps were looking a little more short term. Bright, appreciate the time. Thank you so much for that. Bright Khumalo is from Vestact Asset Management there, joining us to unpack that market picture.